Look, man, I've got something that I want to show to you before we go on air tonight, okay? Something happened to me, and I want to share it with you, and I want to share it with our audience, because it's not every day that we have a real bona fide paranormal experience happen to us, Alex. And I had something happen to me that I want to show you. Can I show you something?
What is it?
Well, I was here alone 2 nights ago, and I was chased. Okay, I was chased by something not of this world.
Are we on the air now? Oh, sorry, I'm just kind of confused as to what's going on.
Well, yeah, I asked Chris to just go ahead and put us on air, because
it's just usually we go to credits first. It's fine though.
No.
I'm happy. I'm happy to. I want to see.
Look,
I'm just realizing I need to compose myself now.
Hey, do you trust me on this? Because this is big.
Do I trust you on this?
Yeah.
Yes, of course I do.
I mean,
yes.
Look, we are both no-nonsense guys, and when I say I've got something to show you that is going to blow your mind, and I'm going to show our audience too.
Show me.
Okay.
Go ahead and show me.
Chris, can we cut to the video? Now, I was here the other night, okay? And, of course, this is not, repurposing. Now, I was chased through the hall. Now watch, you're going to see a creature. Right. Now it's in this next shot. You're going to see a creature chase me right there. He's coming around the corner now. Oh, shit. It's in this next shot. Watch it. Watch close. There's a dark figure that comes right here. Okay, no. There's a creature. I mean, I'm not. Look, man, I'm telling you, this was scary. This was terrifying.
Believe it or not, I still believe you.
Thank you, man. Because let me tell you what, this was.
I am reaching a threshold, though. Dude, it's just I feel I need to watch this a couple more times, but I almost am starting to think I've seen some of these shots before.
Well, no, the truth is, look, man, if you were in my shoes, I was running for my life. I heard noises, and...
Did you edit this?
I mean, I had to sort of composite some of the shots together.
Well, listen,
in a manner.
I want to take this time. I'm assuming this is going to go on for at least a few more minutes.
Well,
let me first say to you, although I don't exactly know what this is, I believe everything you've said, and I always will. And I'll tell you why. Because this show, this show, and this all, I mean, caveat, this isn't the show.
Well,
I don't know what this is.
Well, look, thank you, man, thank you. Because if this had happened to you, and I'm assuming it will, they're probably coming for you right now. Whatever entity was chasing me through this building is probably in your home, going through your sock drawer.
Let me say this, even for skeptics out there, and I'm not one of the people I'm describing, right? If there's somewhere out there, if there's a skeptic, at the end of all of this running, most people would be throwing up.
Yeah.
And he is just, and keep in mind, he has a gun, and I still don't know why.
Well, look, I felt like I needed to protect myself.
Chris, go to the opening credits.
Well, I still feel like there's stuff to explore there.
Hello, night crawlers. Welcome to another episode of Dark of the Night. My name is Alex Myers.
And I'm Eric Yearwood. Thank you for joining us tonight, night crawlers. We've got a very exciting show. We're broadcasting to you live from Queens, New York. undisclosed location.
And it's a really good location also. Sort of a footnote.
Yeah, it's, what would you say, 60 degrees out? Balmy 60 degrees?
You know, embarrassing fact, I didn't check the weather today.
I'm surprising, because that's sort of that's your bag.
That is my thing, but I was too excited about the show tonight.
Yeah. We've got a guest that's going to talk to us tonight about the space war that I believe is in our near future. Justin Tyler's going to join us here in a little bit.
This show is about the space war that is or is not coming. And let me tell you right now, it's not coming.
Well,
and here's the thing. I said that in sort of like a dumbass,
right,
sort of a joking dumbass way, but this is not a dumbass joking show tonight.
No, well, that's one of the signs of a true paranormal investigator that is sort of willing to entertain the two sides of possibility, the possibility that something's actually going to happen and the possibility that there's like a dumb, smart-ass kind of way to spin it.
Yeah, this show is going to be a grand, rollicking debate across the intellectual terrain of the question of space war, and there will be mockery, there will be laughter, but not, all sorts of laughter.
That's right. We're gonna laugh and we're gonna dialogue in the same way that, like, I imagine Archimedes and Ptolemy
and Plato and pretty much everyone was there.
They're all,
literally everyone.
And they probably talked about some of the same topics that we're going to discuss tonight.
Is there a space war coming is the topic. I will be playing the role of the rationalist skeptic in the classical modernist tradition that I have completely detached myself from.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there's reason to doubt the space war, Eric, and I think it's time that we go head-to-head on this.
Yeah, we've got some data that we're going to share and we're going to discuss, but I think let's get right to it and let's introduce our guest for tonight.
The stakes are too high. We can wait no longer.
Yeah, we'll bring on Admiral Justin Tyler, and we're gonna fly him. Justin, please, we don't want you to lift your own chair. That would be that would just not.
But
be
someone
right.
needs to lift the chair.
Right.
There's a reason. For people who've been watching the last few weeks, you'll notice that we refuse to have the guest chair in place at the start of the show.
Right. It just seems like the kind of thing you should bring in for a guest.
Welcome, Justin Tyler.
Oh, so great to be here.
Hey, thanks for coming.
I've been a big fan of you guys for a long time, so it's great to really get the word out.
I'm going to dip out.
Okay, great.
I will be back.
I understand when a guest arrives, the best thing a host to do can do is leave.
Well, I'm not gonna get too deep into why I'm leaving because I'm extremely uncomfortable. I did feel a wave of something over me just now.
That's truth washing over you, my man.
Well,
let me say to you, so you're in such good shape to have you run that much through the hallways with that loaded gun.
Well, look, thank you. That's really nice of you to say, and that's high praise from a man who's, I consider you to be a peak specimen and a soldier of fortune in a way.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people think I'm Air Force, but I'm actually Air Militia.
Air Militia.
A little more independent, a little more patriotic.
Okay.
Because it's harder because you don't have any money, any funding, so you gotta like find a plane or do what the original Patriots, the founding fathers, did is just use birds.
Just use birds and you would consider the birds to be your sort of your squadron, so to speak.
Yeah, you would have to Cinderella that shit, which means sort of collect enough birds to form some sort of rudimentary flying device, and then ride them to take a look at a target or just enjoy the flight.
And that's common jargon, I would assume.
Definitely
Cinderella them.
Yes, indeed. Cinderella.
Well, look, I have seen you down at the gun range, and I like the cut of your jib, as they say.
I know I'm too scared to shoot, but it's great to just be there.
Yeah, and in the parking lot, once we got to talking about the concept of space war, and then when we all heard that you were sort of forming your own militia, space militia, we thought we got to get this guy in and we got to talk about this hot topic.
Yeah, and
welcome back.
Thank you. And now that I have no choice as to, I mean, it is showtime, and it is
showtime at the Apollo.
It's showtime at the Apollo.
Yes,
and
definitely. This is the same thing that's happening there.
And what I want to say is that did you think it was weird when only Eric came to ask you to be on the show, because I was obviously watching?
Yeah, no, I could see you just like 10 paces behind him, but I understand. Like maybe you were afraid of the truth. Like maybe you weren't prepared, because I'm a space war prepper.
You're just so fucking cool.
Well,
yeah, we both think that.
Just because I ride a pretty great bicycle to do my business, and this jacket is like, some of it is leather, and I won't tell you what.
I would never be able to know.
Right, that's exactly right. The thing is, it's leather, but like you don't know what animal leather it is.
I could be. I mean, how many animals?
I would, and now this is the last I'll say this, because I know we have to move on to the topic. I would die to have the things that you have.
Well, I mean,
and I would die to be. I would die. I mean, I don't want to say I'd die to be you, but I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. And I think that's not. I don't feel like that's too heavy of a thing to say.
Well, it's sort of reincarnation, man. You might die and then end up me.
Well, look,
that would be a great option.
We are all in the same boat, fellas. Can we do Can we do this?
Oh.
And what about this?
Okay. Oh, well, hands. Yes.
And we are truth hunters. Together.
Part of me wants to think somehow I shook your hand.
There's a connection there. It's the same thing.
Right. I mean, factually, I didn't.
Well, that's part of.
Okay.
We can discuss that.
I feel like I am being too nervous. Eric, lead the discussion. Lead us towards Space War.
Okay, so Exhibit A. Chris, can we have this first headline come up, please, that we can discuss? Now, this is an article, I believe, in Politico, which is a blog that every once in a while I'll see on Reddit.
A questionable site.
The headline is "Space War is coming and the U.S. is not ready." Now, guys, we all familiarized ourselves with this text. What were your initial takeaways? And I know, Justin, you've got a whole set of concerns that may or may not have to do with the theoretical. But Alex, what was your first initial observations here?
Let's top line this for the night crawlers out there. Basically, this is the situ.
I like
Asian.
that.
Right. Yeah. And I just sort of fucked up.
Well,
now I'm dying out. All right. Reset. Top line. Here's the situation. So Russia and China are years ahead of the United States in certain technologies to attack our satellites.
Yeah.
And generals are quoted in the article, and let's assume it's fact. I'll bite. That space war is coming, and we are not ready, and our GPS, our global positioning system, is threatened. And that is basically our main way of being in the modern era of technology. And that's what they're calling the coming space war.
That was a great summary.
Yeah, you got to know where you are. Otherwise, you don't know where you're going.
Right.
And I'm big, as a space war prepper, like you have to be prepared, number one, because it's coming. And let me be honest, I think there are wars already fought in space.
Well,
let's go piece by piece, shall we?
Let's do it.
Because we've got that's a big enchilada. We've got a lot to.
And if we're sort of getting our initial thoughts out of top, I say it's horse shit, and it's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
I see you.
That's a great way to start. I think that it is technology is moving so fast it's not a shocker to think. I mean, Elon Musk and these SpaceX rockets, they're going up, they're coming down. It's basically like Iron Man landing on a platform out at sea. I mean, how could we not be inches away from space war?
100%. I've met Iron Man. I know Iron Man, and he agrees with me.
Well, so let me say this. I don't want to we've all met. I mean, at some point or another, we've all met Iron Man, whether it's a mascot or the actual Times Square.
Yep.
And I do consider every Iron Man I see out there the real Iron Man.
Same guy.
Yeah, they're all real Iron Men, and that's good for us. But this is where Iron Man is a terrestrial creature, and what I would just say here is that our concerns need to lay here on the Earth. In thinking about this sort of space war business, here's the mistake we make. There are too many things, in my opinion, that we are not looking into right here. First of all, here's just an example of many. What's in all, if I see a building across the street, like what's in there? I don't fucking know what's in a building. There's tons of buildings.
Yeah, but is there not a space war going on in there? The beginnings of a space war?
I mean,
because a lot of wars start in one place and then all of a sudden it's like, whoops, now it's all over.
Well, I feel like I see, but I feel like I'm in the bridge here between these 2 points of view, because
I mean, we know where Justin stands. I mean, you are a diehard space war believer, Eric. Where do you stand?
Well, I was going to say, I do think that there are terrestrial concerns for sure, and I think that the space war is imminent. I also think it is possible to look at a building and just say, I don't see how a space war could be happening in there.
Space is, we're in space, Earth's in space. So really, all wars are space wars. But let me ask you this. What have you done to prepare for the space war? Because even if you don't believe it, nothing?
Nothing.
What about you?
I've done a couple things.
Okay.
Here, so I feel like we're in a Goldilocks situation where it's like...
See, we need a Cinderella this Goldilocks situation, like straight up. Because here's the thing, you know what you're going to need in space? Air.
Yeah.
How much air do you have saved up?
Just whatever's in my apartment.
But that's not enough. And also you need
I don't even know, and I'll say, I feel like I'm hurting my case, but I'll say it right now. I don't even know how to take that air with me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Here's what I do. Milk jugs. Like if you tie your t-shirt sleeves up, you can keep a lot of air in your t-shirt. It's like a bag.
So that's why you never wear sleeves.
Exactly.
Well,
these are the only sleeves I have, and it's only because the animal I made this coat out of, it was big.
Well,
that's a clue.
You mentioned that in the parking lot at the gun range, and so I have one duffel bag that is just full of air. But Alex.
Well, you going to live on his air? I know you guys are friends.
Well, I mean, look, here's what
I can share some of it with you, man, but I don't know if I can.
The space war is going to be longer than a duffel bag.
I don't need air.
You don't? You don't need air?
I mean, well, I'm going to say two things, sort of in a sequence. One, have I ever been in a situation without air? No. Do I truly believe I could be in one and be fine? Yes.
Wow.
Prove me wrong. Find one place that has no air, and I'll go there, and I swear to God, I'll be fine afterwards.
Hold your breath. Let's make that place right here.
Well, I don't want to tattle on you, but we did go to a convention at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami, and you jumped in the deep end, and you were only able to hold your breath for about 30 seconds, and then you started to panic. But
yeah, but that's not why I'm not going to hold my breath right now. It's because, and I mean. And again, just to reset what's going on here for the audience before I answer this question, and I'm not trying to buy time. Tonight is a grand rollicking debate about space war.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing, even though it seems almost like we're stabbing each other with swords and we all hate each other, what we're seeing is the best of comrades sparring with full joyous, almost insanely joyously
Boyishly.
Boyish, joyous. Like, I love both of you. That's why I want you to be prepared. We're sparring with like those French swords that don't have points.
Rapiers.
That's it.
Or scimitars.
I can't believe that's what they're called, honestly.
Prove it.
It's not PC.
Prove that you love both of us.
Oh.
I'll prove. Hey, I'll tell you what. Here's a wager. We'll call it Alex's wager.
Okay.
I will prove to you that I can have no air while you prove that you love both of us.
No problem. Hold your
Okay,
breath.
go.
Oh, you're moving your mouth so much.
So while Alex is,
I'm nervous. I don't know what's going to happen.
just-
I know what's going to happen on
blew
my
it.
end. I don't know
You
what's
blew
going to
it
happen.
right
on
then.
Because you know what I was going to say to prove that I loved you? I was going to say breathe.
that's actually a really, that's like,
It's like the gift of the Magi.
it's like jujitsu. Yeah, it's like an O. Henry poem or something.
It was like a Morpheus strip of a
a
situation.
Morpheus strip. That's like a dream that doesn't end.
Or a sexual dream about the Matrix, which is something that I can't say I haven't.
Look, this isn't about. This isn't. Look, I feel like we're all shifting from. Listen, I would love to sit here and jerk off to the Matrix, but that's not what the show.
Well, okay, no, you're right. We have to stay on topic. I want to bring up one thing before we go. Kind of have to move on to the next article.
We're still going to do the JO into the Matrix, though, right?
I mean, that wasn't pre-agreed upon.
Well,
But I'm not saying no.
that is not something we can. That's not YouTube's terms of service won't allow us to do that. But we can maybe do it on a different platform that if we decide to broadcast there.
I have a platform.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk about was they said in the top of this Politico article that they were preparing the idea of preparing space soldiers to continue to operate if they were disconnected from their space base or something. So the image I got was they're training these special forces people to, just like that movie Gravity, if you in the space war get blown out of an airlock and you're just tumbling through space, to keep fighting. Can you imagine how intense that would be?
Of course, that's where, when you're in space, that's where the war is going to happen. You have to get loose. You have to get out of...
You have to get away from...
Sandra Bullock is a great warrior.
Uh-huh.
And...
like, who else could survive the movie Speed?
Exactly. She's been in so many, like, very intense situations and come out...
Involving vehicles.
Have you ever seen While You Were Sleeping? She had to navigate a very tricky familial situation in which she was, like, maybe... Everyone thought she was in love with this one guy who was in a coma, and then she actually fell in love with the brother. That's space war.
Well, and here's what I want to say to that. Let's say I'll bite on your space war proposal. Let's say you got some Sandra Bullocks in space, or a Sandra Bullock like group of people.
No, like a SEAL Team 6, all Sandra Bullocks.
Yeah, I mean, they're tough and they're red hot.
Yeah,
And
they always go up the blind side.
Yeah, this is a group of people that would literally bust your ass. Now, let me say this. What if you have two of those groups, and they all have guns and swords, and whatever else? Is that really a war? Now, this is one of my core philosophical points on this issue. Or is it a skirmish? Because I have skirmishes every day.
Yeah.
I feel like it just depends how heavily armed they are. Because, one of the things about Sandra Bullock, and you mentioned Blindside, is that she is sort of a caretaker. She was willing to take that young man into her home and raise him like she was her own son.
Right. Some of the Sandra Bullocks, just to be clear, are nurses.
Yeah, so you got to find out like what kind of weaponry they've got, and what the range is on those weapons for it to be a war. I would think.
You just have to look in the hearts of the people fighting the war. If they're mad at each other, a skirmish can be between like two people who are best friends.
I mean,
I think that our directors may be suggesting Should we go to the next article here?
I just
introduce the next piece of
Yeah, I think
evidence.
we've sort of figured that out as far as international relations.
One closing word. I just want to say where I'm at. I'm not convinced.
Okay.
You don't believe in the space war?
No.
After everything
Show me
said?
what else you got. But believe me, if that was a conversation, other than the fact of the great company I was in, I really would have. If it was a piece of garbage, I would be throwing it out.
Alex, that was a dummy story. That was about a terrestrial war fought in space. Where do you see what's coming?
Okay, so this next one is shock footage of explosion in Earth atmosphere sparks wild space war claims. Now there is actual footage here of a sort of a glowing explosion on the horizon. Mm-hmm. This was filmed in Mexico, and many people are saying this is evidence that there are ships fighting in the beyond, in outer space. Because I mean, how do you explain that?
Yeah, you just did. What else do you need?
Well,
it's a video. You know how hard it is to make a video that's not real?
Well, I'll give you that. It's hard. It's very hard. The only people I can think of who've done it, the only videos I've seen are by the company Pixar.
Exactly. And you cannot trust cartoons.
Right.
I've always said that.
Right. Do not trust cartoons. And what I would say is that this is not a cartoon. This video.
100%.
But what it is a misunderstood. I was trying to think of another word. It's just a misunderstood video. And here's what I'm going to say. I'll ask you this. We assume there's one sun. Great.
Simple-minded, sure.
Fine. I'll go along with that. But, there could be two. In which case, that was just the other sun.
So you'd rather believe in a second secret sun than a space war happening? Right?
Look, I'm just saying there's other options.
Are you thinking about the moon?
A moon is a kind of sun. It's a less hot sun.
Well, so there's
chill sun.
The alternative possibility is there's a second sun. I feel like
I'll grant you it's not a good argument.
Yeah, well, and see, that's why I feel like maybe entertaining some of the evidence that that we're sort of seeing in some of these articles is what's interesting because, well, I mean, there's a lot of words in these articles and there's pictures.
Too many.
And there was a lot. Wow me, Eric. I am your student. An unwilling student, but I showed up to school.
A hostage.
I'm a hostage.
Intellectual hostage.
This article didn't have much more than that. So maybe let's go on to the next one.
Yeah. So
this was a flashpoint in the burgeoning space war. Like I was privy to a lot of this insider stuff. I have a station in Antarctica that I observe a lot of these things from, and a lot of people in the space war like radio me, and they're like, "Hey, Justin, like what's up? Like, hey, help me! Like, what's going on Earth?" They want to know about movies and news and stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You have wait. So you have a station in Antarctica, and then you have people that are messaging you that are involved in the space war.
Exactly. It's on both sides. Let me be honest.
Well, how did you get a station in Antarctica, first of all? Because
Antarctica,
when you were telling me that you were looking for a job in town.
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm here, I don't get down to Antarctica very much. It's like having a summer home. You don't want to go there. It's hard to get there.
Except one that, and I'm just guessing, is extremely unpleasant.
Yeah, it's a difficult environment, and let me be honest, the base isn't as great as it could be. Like it's like a fixer-upper. It's really just like an old truck that is parked there.
So I'm reading between lines. You've got a shitty, uncomfortable, sort of bleak base in Antarctica.
All right, well you don't have to come.
And to be devil's advocate, I mean,
I was just sort of painting a picture.
So did Shackleton, and he was. I mean, he's one of our heroes.
Yeah, he's a hero, and he died a horrible death.
Did he?
I believe so.
Look, I could sit here all day. I could sit here all day and listen about Ernest Shackleton's horrible death. But what I want to ask you is this. You're saying things to me that my ears desperately, I want there to be a space war, because you know what? I'd be out there flying an X-Wing. You bet your ass I would be.
It's not at all like that. They're all Y-Wings.
How do you know you're not being lied to? I know those people are talking to you down there. How can you trust them? I'm a skeptic at my core.
Well, tell me how are you communicating with these people? Is it a cell phone or a ham radio? What do you...
It's a regular radio, like a car stereo. And you just tune it into the right frequencies, and people are like, watch out, help me, I'm in this space war.
Well, wait, but are you able to talk to them?
I speak, and I think so. But it's hard. In wartime, you've seen war movies, like there are people, and sometimes they don't quite get in touch. Like Saving Private Ryan, they couldn't get word to him because he was all...
Well, I don't...
That movie is so sad.
I don't... I believe that a space war is coming, but to be in Alex's corner here for just a second, it sounds, what you just described is that you're going to Antarctica to sort of live in a shack, and then you're just listening to the radio. But by the way, how are you even getting to Antarctica?
A series of boats.
I guess there are boats that go there.
It's reachable. There's a lot of tourism. And you just have to go on a cruise ship and then just sort of like sneak away.
Now, Justin, I just want to say, and this sounds like a tangent. It's not. I still think you're cool.
We both do.
I feel a butt coming on.
Well, it's just...
But I hear that a lot. I still think you're cool, and then someone's like, but get out of my house, or but you got fired here.
What are you doing
6 weeks ago?
Well, I would imagine you maybe, if you're sneaking away in a lifeboat from a cruise to Antarctica.
Let me put it this way.
Not so cool.
I'm not going to say that. It's probably not. Look, here's what I want to say, and I think Eric and I are in the same. We're in the same corner on this one. We believe you, but we find it extremely difficult to do so. Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's what you said to me when I was showing you that video earlier. So
I will always believe, despite what it is I think.
Let me ask you this: World War II. You believe in that?
World Skirmish too.
Okay,
I believe in it.
It was a series of skirmishes.
Right.
My grandfather was injured in World War II.
Would you call him a skirmish veteran or like a mishap veteran?
I wouldn't want to do that.
Because that's sort of not a great way.
No.
It may not be great, but it might be true.
Wow. You don't believe in any war, not even space?
I believe there are some wars. There will be the final war, and it will truly be great. It will not be great, but it will be grand.
And that's involved. There's one person who's at the core of that great war. It's Heenan the Gregarian.
Yes.
Let's lay. I think for the sort of junior grade night crawlers out there, we may need to lay down a quick definition. And you are not involved with our lore, but a war. The definition of a war is a battle which involves 3 or more dimensions.
Yeah, 100% agree. And a fourth.
Hence my level of skepticism. You can understand.
Can we, by the way, if there's any callers, are we going to be able to hear them or no?
Yeah,
it's just on your.
Yeah, they're gonna call in.
Call in, folks, if you're watching at home and you're just feeling a red hot passion to hop on that phone line and give us a piece of your mind. We'd love to hear.
If you fought in any space wars or like were a nurse or a bystander in any skirmish in space,
or
if you've been to my Antarctic station.
While we're waiting for calls, should we go to this next headline here?
Let's brave on. I'm still unconvinced.
So Obama report to Congress supports whistleblower claims of secret space war. So the essence of this article is that Obama, then this is indisputable fact, he requested additional funds to counter what he believed to be encroachment in space by other foreign nations that are adversarial to the United States. And while that was going on, there is a whistleblower who says he has all the information that this money was going to fund a full-on Battlestar Galactica style space war between aliens and human beings.
Let me
100% true. I'm a whistleblower.
Really, you're a whistleblower.
I blow
Breaking news.
Do you know this whistleblower?
You know, a whistleblower, you bump into another one and you sort of make that eye contact. Like, I'm gonna blow this whistle right up. I'm gonna tell your secrets from. I'll blow a whistle like I go get coffee and I'm like, this coffee tastes weird. Tweet, and I blow it up.
So
on Yelp.
Okay, so you're blowing. Is that your primary outlet for whistleblowing?
Yeah.
Yelp.
It's the best way to get the word out.
So you don't just put you gave an example of reviewing food, but you actually put all of your whistleblowing on Yelp.
Yes, exactly.
Well, what do you do if there's not an account for, I don't know, the federal government or on
You
Yelp?
can just go to Chili's too, and they'll let you write whatever you want.
Well, I mean, you know what? Part of me says, you know, that doesn't seem like a good idea, but that's a small part of me.
Good.
And the and the other large, that's sort of this much of a pie graph, and the rest of me is saying, you know what? Whether or not what you say is accurate or opinion or whatever, they will always try to stop you. So if you find a Chili's that's on your side, that Chili's might be owned by a friend.
Yeah.
Well, I tend to think that there's probably some more traditional ways to get your message out there to, I don't know, maybe the Washington Post or something. I mean, look, you're the expert. I don't want to discount whistleblowing on Yelp. But nevertheless, just in this article, I mean,
let's talk about the article.
This sounds like there is a full-on, I mean, you're talking Klingons, you're talking the ultimate sci-fi battle happening in space. Is that what you believe is happening?
I don't just believe it. I know it because a lot of people don't believe this, but Obama was born in space.
Is that?
Yeah, he was born in space and just came to Earth and then became the president.
You know, I hear all sorts of things about Obama. I hear he doesn't really wear suits. He just makes it look that way, which, you know, I could never sit down and really think about what that meant.
I haven't heard that theory, but I believe it.
Right. So look.
I'm a spacer.
You have a mind. You have a mind that, and I admire this about you. You have a mind that is like, it's like a
sieve.
It's like a sieve that's but there's a mouth on the sieve, and it's sucking ideas into it and believing all of them.
And a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I could eat cereal out of your mind, and I'm like, nope, everything falls right out.
Onto Yelp.
Exactly, makes a big mess all over the fucking floor.
Well, I mean, we're sitting here, and we're sitting here. Three kings are we of the paranormal and of paranormal theory. So let's try to wrap our mind around the core of this article, which is basically that: can we believe that an earthly government is truly capable of getting into a big space war? And I imagine there's lots of generals down there just saying, you know, I'm not sure. This is what I think they're saying in that voice. I don't know if we can do that. Can we?
Well, I mean, think about this. I mean, the Apollo missions were happening in the 50s, in the 60s. We landed on the moon in the late 60s. What have we been doing since then? I mean, you're telling me we can't build one of those ships from Star Wars? What's a ship from Star Wars? One of the bigger ones.
Death Star?
Well, no, but the
Star Destroyer.
The smaller Rebel ones were the calamari.
The Mon Calamari. Is that what you mean?
No, that's not what
That's really what they are called. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah. So,
And they look like
Admiral Akbar.
calamari.
I know. I know.
Right. And there's that kind of Dutch angle shot of him, and he's kind of lifting up, and he goes, "It's a trap."
Yeah. Well, the point is we have the technology to build those things, and the only question in my mind is, are aliens involved?
Well, I feel like now, just to be fair, and I'm just playing my dutiful role as skeptic. I feel like in asking a big question there, you said, I mean, can you not believe the idea that we can build the same ships as Mon Calamari and Admiral Akbar? And you just sort of continued on. And you said, there has to be a space war. And I just want to say, there are some people, and to be honest, I'm beginning to be won over, because now we're talking Akbar. Now we're talking Akbar.
Yeah.
We're getting...
The thing is, you don't understand, is like, we're not in the space war yet. But the space war is happening.
See, now I'm listening.
So like, you got to be ready. It's like, if you're watching a football game.
I'm not a big football fan.
Yeah,
but
big if.
Okay, what are your top three favorite sports? Or favorite sport?
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
I don't really pay attention to that much.
I walked by a bar that said the Olympics were on that night.
Okay. Let's take skateboarding.
Okay.
Like, you know how in skateboarding there's someone who's on the skateboard.
Sure.
They're fighting the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people who are like...
Yeah, there's tons of fighting in skateboarding.
Yeah. There's like, the joust where they have the little things and they bump into each other.
Right.
We're on the side and we're like, sick moves. We're not skateboarding.
Right.
It's about time the Earth got on the skateboard.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying there in the heavens beyond, there's a space war happening. We're sort of like the hapless Ewoks on the planet Endor, just being like, oh no, and then all of a sudden, a big laser beam blasts us all to pieces.
And that's when an Ewok comes out on a skateboard, and he's fucking awesome.
He's
He's
just
sick at it. He has short legs, but he's really good anyway.
Yeah.
He's just like shredding and just like...
And so cute.
He keeps...
Yeah.
He's so cute, and he keeps looking at the camera being like, fuck off.
Yeah, he's cute, but he's like a rebel cute.
Yeah, he keeps being like, kiss my ass and like eat shit.
Yeah, because he's like, a lot of Ewoks are hairy, but he shaved it all off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, think about Princess Leia, because when she saw... what's the one?
Wicket?
Wicket. When she saw Wicket for the first time, she wasn't interested. But I bet if he was riding a skateboard and he was clean shaven, she'd kind of think about it.
Do you mean sexually interested? Or do you mean just like...
romantically. I don't know that would have to develop after time.
You're drawing a strong line between romance and sex.
Eric
I believe that the two are distinct.
Eric has a faith that if and I keep telling him it's not true. He keeps saying, if a girl likes me and we go on a few dates, she'll have sex with me. And I keep saying, not for you. That won't happen for you.
How about like a parent trying to protect a son?
Yeah, and
I assume that there's a reason for why he says that.
But I can't get. I always say I can't give you those reasons. But since you're questioning me, let me end as I always do when I say this. Please don't.
Well, let me throw this out. You just mentioned Princess Leia. You may be in a situation where it's his sister, and you just don't know it yet.
I mean, we're so far into this metaphor that I believe me, I understand every part of it. But that being said, what I'm gathering is Leia's side, right? There is a space war up there, right? If I'm tracking this,
100%.
And so maybe what Obama is doing is he's saying, hey, we don't want to be just jackass Ewoks.
Exactly, shaved, fucked up Ewoks.
Right. We want to be the cool Ewok. who will battle until death do us part.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that is the right thing.
Like a marriage.
Right. Yeah, we'll battle forever is right.
That's what a marriage is what you're saying.
Look, I mean, we're all romantics at heart. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
but
I love the space where I'm in love. I'm in love.
You're in love with it. You're married to the sea, so to speak. But the point is we are about facts, and so I think that this final headline that we're going to pull up is going to be the final piece of the puzzle, because
this really blows the lid off.
This blows the lid off. This is sort of the ultimate conclusion of. I mean, if you're not a believer after this, I don't really know what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, see, here we go. Secret Space War shock claim. U.S. Navy fighting intergalactic battle with what? Reptile aliens.
See, this headline is bullshit, and only because of the word shock. Because I wasn't shocked at all by this.
Okay. Well.
So you disagree with the spin.
Exactly. This is all spin. We got World of Warships. This is clearly those ducks are part of this.
Now I just want to clarify, Justin. That's not part of the article.
It's right there. Haven't you seen a newspaper? There's pictures and then there's words.
Well, there's an association. You can't deny that.
You're talking about a secret space war, and they got an ad for World of Warships, and you got ducks.
I mean, there's sort of an intertextuality there. I'll agree with you there.
Look, I'm talking about that's a space war, except it's water instead of space.
I was looking up World of Warships, and because I just thought it would be a cool game before I got on this.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I wanted to get up and leave and Google World of Warships.
I'm not saying I won't get you wrong. I might get you wrong.
Look, and that's why that's why I try to ask you not to.
Well, can I ask you guys a question? If we're saying that there's some sort of link between all the pictures on this page, is there a connection there between the bottom right, breaking actor Corey Feldman's stabbed in murder attempt? Is that part of the space war?
100%. He's the Archduke Franz Ferdinand of the space war.
So you're saying the stabbing of Corey Feldman could trigger
100%
the entire thing?
That's happening right now.
This is fascinating to me. What we're seeing here is sort of an encyclopedia page of the space war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the fact, almost.
Well, like when the news was coming out, like World War I starting, that's just what the news was.
Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, guys. I'm seeing links here. Chris, can you scroll up a little bit further? Because there's other information on this page.
These are all players in the game.
I can't. Well, we can't see it. More World of Warships.
We're back up here, and
just
this
a little
bit. Well. I mean, don't be so quick. I mean, I just.
Oh, not that far up. I think we go down a little bit.
I mean, and this, and right here, right now.
Yep, Ken Dodd.
We've got Marnie.
Yep, Ken Dodd is the general for the reptiles.
I mean, and I don't want to bring your eyes away from Ken Dodd, but there's actually a ship that we're kind of flying past at this point.
Right. Well,
yeah, that's important too. Sure. But I think that the Ant McPartlin story is also a pretty big deal.
And Louise Thompson flashes undies in a completely sheer outfit. I mean, I don't know what the uniforms are like for all these different races, but maybe they're wearing sheer outfits.
Yes, a lot of alien fashion is sheer this season anyway, but it's wartime. And you may notice that a lot of these people seem like celebrities, but they're not.
Have you ever seen any of these people on anything?
No, I don't recognize it, but that's about it's alien.
Right. This is all programming for aliens.
Look, so let me, and I'm trying to keep my mind as open as yours, and yours, Eric.
Sure.
Good luck.
Look, I just said I'm trying.
Well, sometimes it's like Yoda says, do or do not, there is no try.
Right, and sometimes Yoda would just taunt Luke. He'd say, you know, lift it.
Well, you can do that. You do a good voice.
You don't think Yoda was working on had a larger goal? Or you think he was just fucking around? Like an old weirdo?
I think he might have been just...
I've never thought about that.
Well, it's a good question. I actually believe pretty strongly that he was just fucking around.
I've spent my whole life searching for my Yoda.
Well,
I just want to say,
yeah.
Look, you have me believing all of a sudden is what I'm saying. You're winning me over with this encyclopedia entry.
Well, what's so cool about that is we really haven't even talked about the article. So I think there's maybe just a mental link that we're on the same wavelength. It's a sort of an inner knowing that this space war is really happening. Maybe we're being sort of called like the last starfighter to participate in whatever this is going to be. I mean, Justin, can you... Let's imagine for a second you had a recruiting station and you were going to recruit us into your militia. Pitch us on it. Because I think we're opening up here.
Yeah, well, let me say the biggest thing is space. Space is fun. A lot of fun stuff happens there. Bring air, like I said. You want to bring something heavy to keep in your shoes for when you were walking around. And then once you get up there, it's like regular war. You make friends, you peel potatoes. Maybe one of you could be the Private Ryan.
Can I bring a journal?
Yeah, there'll be journals up there.
So wait, but what you're describing is sort of like a Bob Hope kind of World War II movie.
Yes,
but
it's a fun like road movie, no loss of life.
Well, but yeah, but what about the war part of it? Because I happened to be on YouTube the other day and I was looking at these.
I bet you're on. You happen to be on YouTube.
Well, I was looking at stories of Medal of Honor winners, and it was horrible what they were describing. And they were grown men, really tough men, crying, talking about their guts hanging out, and they were just blown to pieces and their buddies all dying. I mean, is that not? That doesn't happen in space war, I guess.
There's not a ton of death so far. It's like sort of we're in the PG phase of the space war.
Well, I mean, this really tracks for me.
It's like the movie The Hangover. It's like fun and the stakes are pretty low.
Right. I mean, look, before we were talking about what do we need to be in this war, we need to be an Ewok who shaved all his fur off and rides around on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Right.
If there's one image I can leave in your brain, it is that.
And at no point during that discussion did we say that he had a weapon or that he was going to fight anyone.
I think we focused on the skateboard.
And so, I mean, I'm not saying I'm starting to believe him, but I am not saying that I totally agree yet. But I am saying he is consistent, if nothing else.
And let me continue to describe this shaved Ewok because this guy's so
okay,
fun.
Well, this is I think the core of where we're going. So I think that this is the consummation. So if we were to distill it down to one shaved Ewok on a skateboard, let's get deep on this. What 100%. Is it?
Like, because once you get down beyond the fur, it's like a lot
what's
of
under
genital,
there?
like a lot of genital.
Oh God, what?
Like they're all nerves.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and don't let that affect how you see the race, the movies.
I mean,
it's just every time I think I'm gonna hear something that I expect, it kind of stops. Look, again, it's not that I don't believe you. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm excited, but
so are these Ewoks.
It just sounds like it might be horrible to be him. I mean, it sort of sounds horrible.
Well, and if he's shaved, and it's so profane, is he covering up in any? I mean, I'm assuming he's falling because he's doing cool tricks and stuff. Is he not scraping us?
He's a little cut up.
And I just want to address the elephant in the room. Is this a metaphor? Or are we going to turn into this thing when we go up there?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I would like to know that before I sign on board here.
Good.
No, I'll ask you point blank. are we going to end up shaved Ewoks with genitals from stem to stern?
Let me tell you, you'll meet one, and I would dare you to not want to become one.
It just.
I think we want to meet one first, right? Before we get on board here. How are you feeling?
I think that's fair, and I think all right. So let's say this is the first job interview for us joining the space war, right? I think it's fair for us to say we're very interested, but we'd like to have a second interview in which, and this is an interview in which we're both interviewing each other.
Okay.
It's a new, it's no one can get fired. It's a mutual
Sort
togetherness.
of a safe job interview.
Yeah, it's almost a date.
We're all hiring. You're hired. We're all hired.
Everybody rides.
Well,
So what we're saying is that we're close to wanting to become these things.
we're close.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? What are we ingest something and then we become these hairless Ewoks, or is there a surgery involved? Or
It's surgical, and you'll become a regular Ewok first, and then you will make the choice to shave. If you choose to.
well, can I ask you this? What will happen if I choose not to shave? Because
You want to be a hairy Ewok?
well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I know that there's dress code, in the regular
This
military.
is the military, yeah.
Right. So you're just like shave and your genitals will be exposed.
Yeah, are you ready? Are you open and vulnerable enough to do that?
I don't really see.
Because that's what war is all about, is just vulnerability.
I want to play
guess,
the role. I want to play the role of the skeptic.
Sure.
One more moment.
What could you possibly be skeptical of?
And look, I'm forcing myself to ask this question because it's not how I feel. But I think a skeptic might say, "What the hell are we talking about?"
Right.
And again, I'm not asking that question. I'm playing the role.
Look,
And I think someone might say that.
I feel like we've talked about a lot of great stuff tonight. Justin, we've gotten to know how you're prepping for the space war that may or may not be happening. We've learned about the Ewok. We've learned about all these things. And I think that it's time to go to kind of some ultimate truth here. And that's why we are going to do our final segment of the night, which is the dark truth.
Oh, okay.
We learned about a lot of cool stuff tonight. We learned about space war. We learned about Ewoks. They ride around on skateboards butt naked, without a care in the world, shaved, genitals flapping every which way. And they're soldiers with a heart of gold and guts made of steel, ready to fly out an airlock and just grapple butt naked in space with any alien, any person from China or Russia or anybody from any other country that gets something up there. For the US of A, Uncle Sam, and everything in between. So I'm thinking maybe let's do it. Let's do it. I came into this sort of rollicking grand debate tonight a skeptic, and that was part of my duty on the show. And I accepted my duty, and I said I am going to fight. I'm going to fight for the point of view that there's not a space war. But I failed spectacularly, and it feels great to be here. It feels great to be on the side of what is so correct that it basically makes me want to just go to bed. And let me say this. I am genuinely locked out of my house, so I can't go to bed. And that's sort of it is a side note, but it is as good as I feel right now. I am locked out of my house, and there is a space war. It's coming. There is a space war coming. I guess the biggest thing I could impart to you, first off, thank you for having me here. It's great to just be around other people with what's going on and the genitals being so loose and so exposed. But I guess I would say the biggest thing I can ask for is boat fare to get back to my Antarctic base. I have to command the radios. The space war is here. We will be drawn in. It's coming for you and you and you. And you just gotta hope that you are the private Ryan, that they'll come and save you. And the only burning question left unanswered is, this is house cat, is the leather on my jacket. I'll freely admit that I blanked on the name of Admiral Akbar's cruiser earlier, and I'm ashamed. I should have known. I should have known what it was, because I played all the games. I played X-Wing and TIE Fighter on PC in the 90s, and there's no excuse. And if I had a handful of leather belts, and if I had my shirt off right now, I would just whip myself with those leather belts until you saw big red welts, until I was crying and begging for my daddy and all of his kind to come rescue me out of the terrible mess I made in my pants and in my shoes and all over, in every other way, and every other part of me. Florida John's at a music festival. Use them or you just hold it. I answer that differently every time. I've been at a music festival basically 3 times. That being said, one of those times I was at the Warped Tour. We want to thank you for tuning into Dark of the Night.
Thanks, folks, for joining us. Thank you, Justin Tyler, Admiral. It's been a pleasure serving with you.
It's been a pleasure overcoming my fear of you. I think I saw you in so many lights that made you a 3-dimensional person.
Yeah.
That shined the light of truth.
Yeah.
And
into me.
I love both of you.
Well, we love you too, and
yeah,
we love our audience, the Night Crawlers. Thank you so much for joining us.
So fun
tonight, and don't fear, because if a space war is out there, the militia is ready to go.
And shop at JCPenney. They could use your help.
Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way: I'm not shopping at Kohl's anymore.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's.
Folks, make sure and tune in next week for another episode of Dark of the Night. And remember, they've been chilling out. They've been chilling out.